Insurance copays and deductibles apply.
You know the best way to start your morning?
Relax. We brought you to the best place in town.
I'm getting too excited.
1480 WHBC and WHBC.com.
Live from the WHBC Broadcast Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight.
And good morning, everyone. It is a Monday edition of Spotlight, and today, child and adolescent behavioral health. And we want to talk about the holidays because they are just about upon us, and a lot of very important things to discuss this morning. And of course, you can listen to us on the radio as you are doing right now, but also don't forget, you can always watch our live stream on our Facebook page. If you are friends with our Facebook page at 1480 WHBC, or you follow us on Twitter at 1480 WHBC, or you are a subscriber of our YouTube channel, 1480 WHBC. Those are all the different ways. And I want to welcome in this morning from Child and Adolescent Behavioral Health, Mary Kreitz. She is the Trauma Program Manager, and Larissa Haring, the Early and Middle Childhood Program Manager. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So, I'm sitting here thinking about the holidays, and we always have, times for the holidays can be tough anyway. And COVID-19 is not making it any easier for anyone. What kinds of things do you think that we're going to be dealing with as Thanksgiving approaches and Christmas approaches?
So I think it's going to be, just as you said, some stressful times. It's stressful no matter what's going on during the holidays from time to time, but adding COVID is just, throwing that fabulous monkey wrench into everything these days. So it will be no different than the rest of 2020, where we're going to have to quickly think on our feet and adapt. And one of the best things we believe as mental health workers is one simple trick is just to create optimism and create your own script. Decide how you are going to have an attitude about this and try to keep that positivity. Mary has a great example that she uses to kind of bring in the holidays. So she uses It's a Wonderful Life as a great analogy. So Mary, I'm going to let you tell that story.
Yeah, we were talking about this last week, and I was saying that through most of the movie, George Bailey is focused on everything that he doesn't have. He doesn't have the job he wants. He doesn't live in the house he wants. He missed out on going to college, and he believes his life is miserable because he's focused on all these things that didn't work out the way that he wanted. But then Clarence the Angel comes along and helps him to look at it differently and realize that because he has these great relationships with his family and with his friends and with all the people in his community, he is actually a tremendous success. And when things come down to it, that's what helps him out in the end.
Yeah, and I would venture to say that that's something we always teach our kids too, is that, count your blessings and make sure that, it may be different, but that doesn't mean it's going to be bad, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Different doesn't have to be bad. Different can be exciting and fresh and lots of fun.
So talk about a little bit about CBT triangle. I want you to explain that to me. What is that?
Well, that's the cognitive behavioral therapy triangle. And basically it is a understanding that thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all interrelated. That the way we think about a situation is going to influence the way we feel about it. And that combination of our thoughts and feelings is going to influence the way that we behave in that situation. So if we approach a situation thinking, oh, this is going to be bad, I'm not going to like this, then we're going to feel scared or we're going to feel defensive and we're not going to enjoy it. If we instead come in and say, wow, this could be great, there's a lot of chance here to have some fun, then we're going to approach it with some optimism and some hope and maybe even some excitement and have a better chance of actually enjoying ourselves in that situation.
Who do you find are better or more likely to adapt to something like this? Adults or kids?
That's a great question.
Kids are amazingly adaptive because they're not as ingrained in their expectations. They have less years of saying, well, we've always done it this way. So I often find that kids are really open to trying new things. Sometimes they can get their heart set on things being a certain way, and we have to help them kind of guide through that change so that they can accept new things. But a lot of times they take their cues from the adults. So when new things come up, if we approach it and say, hey, we get to do this, then the kids are going to go right along with us. If we approach it and go, yeah, we're not going to get to do that, so we're going to have to do this instead, then the kids are going to be bummed out just like we are. So a lot of it is that we have to sell it in a fun way to the kids when we present it to them, that things are going to be a little different.
Yeah, I think that over the years, I've often come up with traditions for my kids. You know, we do this every Christmas Eve or whatever it might be. So now you got to rethink it and maybe present something in a different way or come up with something new.
Yeah, and include the kids in it. Why not ask them, you know, this year's going to be a little bit different. How would you like to do it? Or what parts do you want to keep? What are your favorite things that we always do? And what are the things that you don't mind giving up? Because there might be some things that they feel are a little stale, or to them just really are not that meaningful. They don't really get, why do we do that anyway? So they might be ready to give that up and try something a little different.
At my house, we actually create a Christmas bucket list every single year. And this year was no different. We still created that bucket list. However, when we created it and started our brainstorming, we said, now keep in mind, COVID is a thing. So with that mindset, the kids were fabulously adaptive, and they created things like we still want to have snowball fights. Well, that's not going to change. And we want to be able to bake cookies, and we want to make a gingerbread house. Like their thinking is actually more simple than I kind of prepared myself for having to adapt to. They just want that family time. So you can create that bucket list with your family of what are those top 5 things we want to make sure we try to do this season. And if it is something that you maybe aren't able to do in the way that you used to, how can you just tweak that or adapt it, or, you know, put a fresh coat of paint on it real quick? So.
Yeah, if you had to pick the most beneficial things, I mean, you know, we're all looking at COVID and it's, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, if you had to pick some kind of something that's the most beneficial, what would you say that we pull from COVID as the most beneficial during the holidays?
I really believe just that family time. I know we're being encouraged to keep within our own homes. And even with that, you even hearing songs, the hustle and the bustle, and that's a real thing. And oftentimes Christmas can be a very stressful time for kiddos because they're kind of bounced from one thing to the next, and we have parties, and then we have these activities, and then we're going to go to this party, and we're going to go to this person's house. We've actually just slowed all of that down. And if we can look at that as a positive, that we are slowing down and we get to spend time together with the people that we live with and do that in a positive way, it really can be a positive, memorable Christmas time or holiday season, truly. I'm kind of excited.
We don't have to make up why we don't want to go to Aunt Sally's house, right?
Well, and it gives us a chance to reconnect to why are we celebrating this in the first place? It's not just about rushing to parties or making sure you get out to the mall and get the best gifts or the best deals on Black Friday. We can slow down and say, oh, why are we celebrating this holiday? Maybe it's a religious reason. Maybe it's a philosophical thing like starting afresh at the new year. Maybe we're just doing it because it's time to relax and take a moment to slow down and just catch our breath. So we can kind of refresh that meaning for ourselves.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will talk more child and adolescent behavioral health on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Thank you and your team for being constant companions and friends.
You have gotten me through many, many years.
News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Family physician, Dr. Stan Anderson. When we talk to you, we're always live on Facebook. We did get a question from Facebook.
Once this vaccine is available, this could be the end of the pandemic. It looks promising.
Get the facts. WHBC.com.
The families we serve at the Packley and Packley Arnold Lynch Funeral Homes are our top priority. During the current COVID-19 event, we want to share our plans with you. Arrangements can be made remotely, either online or by teleconference. We are expanding our ability to webcast funeral services, and we encourage the use of our online guest book for condolence messages. We have placed reminders throughout our funeral home to ask that physical contact, such as shaking hands or hugging, be limited with family members. Our large gathering spaces will be set up to allow social distancing. We continue, as always, to provide professional hand sanitizing stations throughout our facility and have enacted cleaning in all public areas. The staff of the Packley and Packley Arnold Lynch Funeral Homes are here to serve, protect, and honor each family we serve. If you have any questions or concerns, please call Joe at 330-833-3222.
Have you visited the News Talk 1480 WHBC channel yet?
It's WHBC on YouTube.
Search for our channel at News Talk 1480 WHBC, Canton, Ohio on YouTube.
Ready to fall into a new ride? At Friends and Family Credit Union, rates are falling and savings are soaring. Put yourself in the new or used car, truck, or motorcycle that you want and secure a rate as low as 2.99% APR up to 76 months. All rates and promotions are subject to change without notice. Fall into your new ride with a rate as low as 2.99% APR up to 76 months. Now, more than ever, it's time to bring a friend into the family.
Canton Regency Senior Living has been a part of the Canton and Stark County community for over 30 years. We offer independent living, assisted living, as well as memory care. We pride ourselves in providing a caring, home-like environment so you can have peace of mind knowing your loved one will receive the compassionate care they deserve. Canton Regency, 4515 22nd Street Northwest in Canton, just off Whipple. Visit our website at capitalsenior.com/Canton-Regency. Discover the difference with Canton Regency.
Do you have Medicare and Medicaid? Then Molina Healthcare has your back. Our Molina Medicare Complete Care Plan gives you lots of extra money-saving benefits, like dental coverage, vision, hearing, over-the-counter items, and more. And these are on top of the Medicare and Medicaid benefits you already have. Plus, our Molina plan makes it easy to manage your Medicare and Medicaid coverages. Switch to Molina by December 7th, so you'll be covered on January 1st, 2021. Go to selectmolinamore.com or call 866-939-0478. We'll help you enroll right over the phone. Call 866-939-0478. If you have Medicare and Medicaid, lean on Molina for the extra benefits you deserve. Molina Medicare Complete Care HMO SMP is a health plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in Molina Medicare Complete Care depends on contract renewal. Product offered by Molina Healthcare of Ohio, Inc., a wholly owned subsidiary of Molina Healthcare, Inc.
Love the show. Thank God for radio. I don't know where we'd be without it.
Oh, yeah, listen to you daily. Your station is so informative.
News Talk 1480 WHBC.
And welcome back to News Talk 1480 WHBC. Today we are talking with Child and Adolescent Behavioral Health. Mary Kreitz is the Trauma Program Manager. Larissa Haring, Early and Middle Childhood Program Manager. And we've been talking about how COVID is going to affect the holidays for all of us. We have Thanksgiving coming up, and we also have Christmas coming up, and Hanukkah, and all of those different gatherings for folks. And guys, you know, what do you do if you have a family member who is maybe not so, you know, easily ready to change? You know, you have grandma who says, well, I'm coming. Or, you know, or, you know, no, bring Billy over because I want to see him. Those kind, like, how do you deal with that kind of stuff? Because then it gets kind of tense, right?
Oh, it absolutely can. So planning in advance is going to be the best bet for any family, of just kind of setting up what your roles and expectations are. I had to have a conversation yesterday with my family of, tell me what your COVID bubble looks like. What are we getting ourselves into? Are we committing to this, or do we need to maybe look at a different route this year? So just having those open, very candid, transparent conversations is your best bet. You're still going to have those resistant family members, as you talked about. And you have to know what your boundaries are and how you feel safe, and explain that. And then your children will follow your same suit. If that's how mom's feeling, then that's where we're going. That mom rules it, we're okay. But it doesn't mean you can't see them. It doesn't mean you can't spend time or do things with or for others. This is definitely still a season of helping others and, giving. We can still do that. Just because we're in our own homes and we're in that household setting doesn't mean we can't see through FaceTime or Zoom or any of the other magical virtual platforms that are out there. But you can call them, you can make cards, we can bake cookies together. I was reading an article that said, you can have a virtual gingerbread baking contest, and so you can all do it together, and you decorate, and then you post all your pictures of your gingerbreads and vote. So you can still really create this connectivity and experience. It just looks a little different. But the kids love virtual. Let's not fool you. They totally can get onto the technology piece.
Yeah, they're better than we are at it, right? For sure. What about kids who, maybe need a little reassurance? Because I would imagine that some get scared. Like, this whole thing could, like, why do we have to cancel Christmas? Or, they may feel that way. How do you deal with the kids that really need more reassurance than some others do?
A big part of it is to actually just listen to them, ask them what their fears are, let them explain it and describe what they're worried about, and listen. Don't rush in to solve the problem. Sit for a minute with them and in that feeling and say, yeah, this is really different. And it is scary when you think about the chances of somebody we love getting infected. That is a scary thing. And then talk to them, ask them what their questions are, and then answer their questions. They can guide you toward what answers they need. And sometimes by over-explaining things, we lose them. If we just let them tell us what they need to hear, we know how to give them the facts that they need without giving them too much that ends up scaring them more.
Yeah. What do you think? What are the things that cause kids to be the most, reticent or, concerned about what's happening with their families? What scares them the most, I guess?
For me right now, it's the uncertainty. If somebody in the house isn't sure what's happening, then everyone can start to feel a little anxious. So, and they are watching us as the grownups of, how am I supposed to respond to this? Or, do you know what we're doing? Like, what are the rules here? How am I supposed to respond to this? Or it's that wishy-washy, I'm not sure yet, that starts to build that anxiety within children. And anxiety comes out in children in very not so nice ways. That's when you start to see those temper tantrums, or defiance, or, the door slamming, shutting down and withdrawing. Like, that can really be a whole lot of anxiety over, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. I don't know how I'm supposed to react. And I don't know what's going on. And I feel like no one else in this house knows what's going on. So that's what and that's kind of where all of us are right now. If we don't know what's happening. So we all have that increased sense, and children are no different in that.
And would that be the same for anything? I mean, not just in COVID times, but, in any kind of a time of uncertainty?
Absolutely. Actually, we were just talking about this last week, that these are the same kind of conversations we might have with kids after parents split up, or after there's a death in the family, or sometimes even when family members have moved. I have a sister who lives in Minnesota, and I was talking with my nephew over the weekend, and he was saying, you know what this reminds me of is when we moved to Minnesota from Ohio, and how different everything was, and how we didn't get to see you guys as much, and how we had to recreate all of our things that we do. And I was like, yeah, it is the same, because we're creating new paths of things. It may not last that we have to do this every year moving forward, but for this year, we have to do things a little bit differently than we normally do.
Yeah, is that important to tell folks to tell the kids that this is not permanent?
Well, I think it's important to tell them that we don't know how permanent it is, and that it doesn't have to be permanent, because even if COVID lasts for more than a year, the things that we choose to do this year may not be the same as what we choose to do next year, because things are always evolving. We don't know, will there be a vaccine by next year? We don't know, will we have new information that tells us there are things we can do differently that will help us be safer? And so as new information comes along, yeah, we'll adjust and do that. But we don't have to expect that what we set up this year, we're stuck with forever.
All right, we're going to take a break for the news. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about how parents need to take care of themselves, because you can't take care of others unless you do that. And also, talking about how kids respond to the changes and how you can help them through that. We'll do all of that with Mary and Larissa coming up. Child and Adolescent Behavioral Health on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Thank you and your team for being constant companions and friends.
You have gotten me through many, many years.
News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Radio works because it is a friend, it's a colleague, company. It is important to my local community. It is a facilitator. It is a driver. As human beings, we all have many characteristics, many things that we all rely upon in order to be able to live each day. Radio has all of those wonderful characteristics, and radio does that better than almost any medium I can think of.
Thank you for listening to WHBC and letting us be a part of your day.
Have you noticed the chill in the air? That's because it's fall. Pam Cook here for my friends at Home Appliance Company. With some major holidays right around the corner, maybe it's time to replace that stove for all of your cooking, or a new refrigerator for all of your leftovers. Home Appliance carries top name brands like Viking, Electrolux, Frigidaire, and many more. Our showroom is open, or you can shop online at homeapplianceco.net. Visit Home Appliance Company, 406 North Erie Street in Massillon, and tell them Pam Cook sent you.
Dell Technologies just announced their Black Friday sale. They're releasing new doorbusters every weekday, plus up to 50% off cutting-edge tech for your business. There's no better time to upgrade your small business with the latest laptops and desktops with Intel Core processors, plus there's free shipping on everything. Yes, everything. Give Dell Technologies advisors a call. They'll identify the right tech solution for your business. Call 877-ASK-DELL or go to Dell.com/SB Black Friday. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Attention patients treated for vision loss. If you received an injection of the medication Beovue to treat macular degeneration and then suffered retinal damage with vision loss, you may be entitled to financial compensation. It's important to seek legal advice if the retinas in your eyes were damaged by an injection of Beovue. So call now for a free consultation. There is no obligation and no fees are charged unless we make a recovery for you. Call our law firm today, toll free at 800-280-0099 for a free consultation. 800-280-0099. Non-attorney spokesperson.
Need a water cooler in your home or office? Rent a brand new cooler from Verndale's Water Center for just $8.75 a month. And check out our 5-gallon reverse osmosis water, just $4.50 a bottle.
Verndale's Water Center.
Monday through Friday. It's John Bozica, live and local.
And I'll tell you what, Stark County has responded. John Bozica, I will talk to you again at 10 a.m.
WHBC AM Canton, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, a Sunday ad in the Plain Dealer from the heads of 6 Northeast Ohio hospital systems. The full-page message implores Ohioans not to give in to COVID fatigue as coronavirus cases in Ohio continue to dramatically rise. Meanwhile, one of the scientists who helped create Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine says it could return the world to normal life by next winter. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine on the Sunday morning shows urging President Donald Trump to begin the transition with President-elect Joe Biden. It's official. 4 astronauts are now on their way to the International Space Station. The SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule launched from the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida, on top of the Falcon 9 rocket last night. Police in Cleveland are investigating a half dozen homicides in a 24-hour span over the weekend, including an 83-year-old woman. Officials say that she was struck and killed by gunfire that came from outside her home. High winds yesterday knocking out power across Ohio. Some are still waiting for lights to come back on this morning across 7 different counties. Waffle House about to release its first ever beer, teaming up with a Georgia brewery to make a red ale called Bacon and Kegs. It's bacon infused, and they say it smells just like bacon when you crack it open. It'll only be available from the brewery, not in Waffle House's stores. It goes on sale on December 18th. The Massillon Tigers will head to Columbus on Friday for a rematch with Akron Hoban in the Division II State Football Championship. The Tigers beat Cincinnati LaSalle over the weekend. Of course, we'll have complete coverage for you right here on 1480 WHBC. More news coming up at 10 o'clock. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Partly sunny, windy weather continuing for the rest of the day. High this afternoon, 46 with winds gusting past 25 miles per hour. Then partly cloudy tonight with a passing shower or two, a low of 35. Tomorrow we'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine, a couple of snow showers, breezy and chilly with a high of 40. Another chilly day Wednesday, sunshine, patchy clouds, and a high of 41. I'm Holly Holdren for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Will restaurants close?
Would not be a decision that I would make lightly, but we have to do some things to slow this down.
Are we looking at another lockdown here in Ohio? Does the governor plan to take those steps anytime soon?
If we can see things move in our direction, yes, we can postpone that, and we may never have to do it, but we've got to see movement.
I'll ask Governor Mike DeWine those questions when he visits Canton's Morning News tomorrow at 7:15.
Canton's Morning News with Pam Cook.
This is Dave DePietro from the Pizza Oven. We've got 8 Stark County Pizza Oven locations, soon to be 9, so you're never too far away from one. You can pick up something to please everyone in the family. Subs, calzones, pasta, pepperoni rolls, salads, and of course, the best pizza and chicken in town. So whether it's game night or just tired of tutoring the kids, pick some food up from the Pizza Oven. You can find our hours and menu at papabearpizzaoven.com. We started in 1956 and we're still growing. Come see us at the Pizza Oven.
Canton Regency Senior Living has been a part of the Canton and Stark County community for over 30 years. We offer independent living, assisted living, as well as memory care. We pride ourselves in providing a caring, home-like environment so you can have peace of mind knowing your loved one will receive the compassionate care they deserve. Canton Regency, 4515 22nd Street Northwest in Canton, just off Whipple. Visit our website at capitalsenior.com/Canton-Regency. Discover the difference with Canton Regency.
Smith's Auto Sales on the corner of 62 and Region Avenue in Canton and Smith's Auto Sales on Cleveland Avenue Southwest in Canton have huge selections of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Check out their lots. Smith's Auto Sales offers buy here, pay here financing to those who qualify with down payments as low as $500 on select vehicles. Back to regular hours, Smith's Auto Sales has been serving the greater Stark County area for almost 30 years. Now's the time to save big on your next vehicle by shopping at Smith's Auto Sales.
Hey, Canton. Thanks for listening.
All right, you ready for this?
It's just amazing how we help each other.
That's a good point. That's a great point, actually. We'll take your calls, 330-450-1480.
And welcome back to this Monday edition of Spotlight. Today we are talking about the challenges and benefits of the holidays during uncertain times with COVID-19 and child and adolescent behavioral health. Mary Kreitz and Larissa Haring are with me this morning, and we've been talking a lot about things that we can do to cope, and maybe for folks who are just tuning in, let's discuss a little bit about how we should get the attitude going in the right direction, especially for kids. That's the important thing, because I think you said, Larissa, kids will follow what the parents do. And, if you have a bad attitude, the kids they're going to really, really follow in your footsteps, right?
Absolutely. They are watching you to see, how am I supposed to respond to this? And they learn their thoughts by listening to you. So if we're going around saying, we got this, this is overwhelming, sometimes this is hard, but we're in this together and we're going to be okay. They hear that and they're going to then tell their friends that, that's the attitude that they will then take on. If we're super negative and this stinks and I don't like this stupid COVID, well, that's the attitude that they're going to take on with that then too. And that, like we said earlier today, is going to change how you then feel on the inside, how you react and respond. It will really change the mindset. So it's hard, can't lie. So I'm also going to say with that, be human. Grant yourself that grace that if you're having a hard day, it's okay to have that hard day. Yeah. And kind of own that and say, this is hard today and I'm going to be okay, and take a break. Timeouts aren't only for kids, they're for us too. So sometimes we need to take that time out and just say, I'll be right back. Just give me a second to breathe and, come back to reality.
Yeah. Mary, share the story about It's a Wonderful Life, because that's one of my favorite movies, and the radio station, we've done a lot of that production actually on the radio. But I think maybe this is the perfect time to sit down with your kids and actually watch it and say, listen, look at George Bailey, what he does,
Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, we're all sitting in front of our Netflix and our Hulu and watching movies together. So picking a movie like that and sitting down together and talking about, well, why is George so miserable for the first half of the movie? Why does he think his life is a failure? What are the things that he's using to decide whether his life has meaning or not? Is life just about having the right job or living in the right house? Is it about how much money you have in your bank account? Or is it about the relationships that you have with other people? Because that's what George ends up learning in his journey through the movie. He learns that those relationships with his family, with the people in his town, with his friends that he's made throughout his life, those matter more than anything else. And in the end, those are the people that come forward to boost him up when he needs it, when he's in a difficult spot. And he learns that there's an inscription in a book from, a character gives him a Mark Twain, I think it's Tom Sawyer book.
Yeah.
No man is a failure who has friends. Right. And I think that is a message that we need to remember as adults, and our children will benefit from learning that friendship is valuable, and those relationships do help us to feel meaning and success in life.
And let's talk about that a little bit, because if you as a parent, are feeling stressed or frazzled or not taking care of yourself, you're tired and all of those kinds of things, then you're certainly not going to be able to do good things for your family, right?
Yes. We kind of use the analogy of we, the adults, are kind of pitchers of water, and we're constantly giving to all the responsibilities and all the children in our lives. So I have a full pitcher. I can constantly give and pour into all these little cups. But something has to fill my pitcher. Something has to fill our pitchers as adults. So making sure that you are getting enough sleep, that you are connecting to your friends and your family. You're doing something for yourself, giving yourself some grace. And like we laugh and sometimes say, oh, it's a bubble bath, or it really sometimes is just, sitting in the car for 5 minutes and taking a deep breath and just regaining your own composure and your own sense of reality. And I can continue and go through this. So constantly, and this happens daily. This isn't something you can just, okay, well, I'm going to schedule a 5-minute meltdown and then I'm going to be okay. No, you constantly have to, it's give and take all day, every day. And noticing the signs within yourself of, oh my gosh, I'm starting to become a little more irritable than I want to be. I need to take a step back. And noticing that, taking care of yourself, and then coming back to the situation. And again, kids watch that. We want them to be able to do those kinds of things of kind of like, I'm not feeling it today, so I need to check out. We want them to do that. So the best thing for us to do is to model that ourselves and take those timeouts or times away and reconnect with people you like and that you like people, that feed your soul and can say, you got this. You need champions in your own life.
We often talk about kids needing structure and, organization and that kind of thing. But in this kind of a situation, getting ready for the holidays and things like that, probably a good idea for adults to have that too.
Everyone needs that, because honestly, it gives us a break when we know a structure of, this is what I'm going to do first, this is what's going to come after that, and here's what comes last. I don't have to constantly be thinking, what are my options, and planning and making decisions. It's already planned out, and that gives your brain a little bit of a break. You can say, okay, I don't need to worry about what's coming next. I can just focus on what I'm doing now. That structure is important when we're at any age. So we need to be able to give that to ourselves. And then when the structure breaks down or when life throws us a curveball, we have the extra resources to be able to deal with it because we let ourselves have a little bit of a rest. If we're constantly moment to moment having to plan and make decisions, we get worn out. We get exhausted mentally and physically.
Do you think it's a good idea to share your sadness or frustration? I mean, I was talking to my family over the weekend about the holidays, and they're like, well, we're probably not going to be able to come. We're just going to stay at our house and we'll do Zoom stuff on Christmas Eve. And I'm like, my heart was breaking. I knew that it was the right thing, but my heart was still breaking. I didn't want to tell my kids, at the same time. So, but I guess you just kind of have to be realistic, right?
And be real. Mm-hmm. They know kids are fantastic at spotting a phony. Yeah. Be real. If you're sad, let them know that you're sad. And like Larissa was saying before, let them know what you're doing to get through that sadness, because sad is a real life experience. We don't want to set the expectation that you should be happy all the time, every day. That's not real. Instead, we can say, okay, I am sad right now. I am disappointed. I am frustrated. And here's what I'm going to do to deal with that. And it's going to pass eventually. I'm not going to be sad forever. I'm going to be sad in this moment, but something is going to come along and I'll be happy again. And I'll be ready for that when it comes.
And it's okay to be sad, for sure.
And it's okay to be sad.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. We are going to take a quick break here. And again, we'll continue our discussion. Child and adolescent behavioral health will return on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Thank you and your team for being constant companions and friends.
You have gotten me through many, many years.
News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Dr. Stan Anderson. When we talk to you, we're always live on Facebook, and we did get a question from Facebook.
This vaccine looks promising.
Get the facts. WHBC.com.
Hi, this is Jim Snyder of the Your Wealth, Your Retirement program, a financial education show for those seeking guidance. Are you retiring soon? Are you in the middle of changing jobs? Maybe you're just done with all of that risk in the 401k plan and you'd like to have a discussion about an early rollout. Maybe you're 70 and a half and you're in your income phase of your IRA. We can help you with all those. Give us a call at Senior Financial Group at 800-639-0824. That's 800-639-0824.
At home with Robert, retired burglar and family man.
Carolers, that's the holiday spirit. Speaking of which, Simply Safe Home Security is having a huge holiday sale. Right now, you can get 30% off a new system and a free camera at simplysafe.com/holiday. That's 30% off the system U.S. News named the best of 2020. Simply Safe protects your whole home 24/7 with monitoring by professionals. The sale ends soon, so go to simplysafe.com/holiday for 30% off and a free camera today.
At All Care, we take your healthcare personally and believe in keeping you healthy as much as helping you when you're not. It's about well-being and being well. A local call for local care means you speak to a real person. With over 30 in-network hospitals and nearly 8,000 network providers, you get the care you want the way you want it, because you matter. Call us at 330-363-6360 or visit allcare.com.
All Care, where you matter.
We're back. Yes, Ohio Means Job Centers in Stark and Tuscarawas counties is eager to assist you with your employment needs, virtually or in person, Monday through Friday from 9 to 4:30. Due to COVID-19, if you need to come to our centers for assistance, you will need to schedule an appointment. Appointments are available 10 to 3 Monday through Friday. In Canton, call us at 330-433-9675. In New Philadelphia, 330-364-9777. Remember, Ohio Means Job Centers has always given you the tools you need to get the job you want and the employees you need.
You know the best way to start your morning?
Relax. We brought you to the best place in town.
I'm getting too excited.
1480 WHBC and WHBC.com.
And welcome back for the final segment of our Monday edition of Spotlight on Stark County. And we are talking with the folks from Child and Adolescent Behavioral Health. You can obviously, as you are listening to us on the radio, but you can also watch us on our WHBC live video stream on our Facebook page, and just like the Facebook page at 1480 WHBC. Follow us on Twitter at 1480 WHBC, or check out our YouTube channel. Just search WHBC, News Talk 1480 WHBC, and you'll find us there as well. And I have Mary Kreitz and Larissa Haring with me this morning, and a lot of good information that we've been sharing about this. And, you know, it's interesting. We're talking about parents, and we're talking about, you know, taking time to explain to the kids what's going to happen, and it's going to be different, and it's okay though, because we can make this fun, and it's all about the good attitude. But are there going to be kids who maybe aren't going to be as accepting as others? How do we recognize that if that does occur?
I think there are going to be some kiddos that are really going to struggle. And like Mary said earlier, the younger, the more adaptable. And as they start to get older, they have more years behind them to know what those traditions may have looked like in the past. So my 16-year-old is struggling a little bit more than my 10-year-old. And that's real. And we look at them and we remind them that safety and health is our number one priority right now. So I might say things like, I hear you. It's frustrating. It's disappointing. And it makes us feel mad and angry that this is happening right now. We need to stay safe. We need to stay healthy, and we need to do the right thing. So what can we do as a family to make this fun and enjoyable? What are your ideas? And inviting them into that process and talking about that, as I talked about, like a bucket list that you can make. Like, what are the fun things we want to make sure we're able to do in some capacity this season? Talking about that. And if they aren't able to come up with those ideas, or they're just super frustrated and mad and not ready to talk about it, I just give them permission to say, it's okay to feel like that right now. When you're ready to talk, come let me know. And then when they are ready, they can come and you're there ready to listen, and just give them the information that they need. Or just say, I hear you, and this is hard. And it's okay if we want to sit here and be grumpy today. We're going to sit here and be grumpy. I ask my kids also often when they come to me all grumpy, and I said, do you just need to feel grumpy right now? And they're like, yes. I said, feel grumpy. Yeah. I'm okay with that. It's okay.
I think that's one of the things that I feel bad about. You know, my kids are in their 20s, 30s, late 20s, 30s, and nieces and nephews the same. But I feel bad for them because their life has been put on hold. You know, the dating and the social life and all of those kinds of things. And that's kind of the way it is for a 16-year-old or a 12-year-old. You know, they're not running around outside with their friends or going to parties or, you know, whatever, going to basketball games or things like that. So I guess maybe talking with them about stuff like that might be a good thing too.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Talk about everything.
And they're great at coming up with things that they can do, because the kids are fantastic at coming up with their own Zoom chats and their own meetings online that they're able to support each other. My niece's birthday was over the weekend, and she was so thrilled that she woke up and friends had already been to her house, delivered presents, and decorated her door for her, which was not the way they celebrated birthdays in the past, but they came up with their own new thing just to surprise her and make her feel good. And that's just how resilient kids are. They are willing to adapt. Yeah, they're not going to the basketball games and hanging out the way they did in the past, but they're finding ways to still stay connected.
Yeah. Do you think that's the majority of kids? Do you think that is happening for most kids?
I actually do. There are some that are struggling more than others, and that's always the case. And there may be some kids that, because of things that have happened in their past, this is bringing up bad memories for them, or is, making it a lot harder to adapt. But a lot of kids are really very creative and resilient. And I'm hearing wonderful stories all the time about stuff that kids are doing and families are doing to try to get through this in the best way possible.
And we talk about all the kids and helping and all those kinds of things. One thing I would, have to ask is, what about the kids who maybe don't have such a great home life, or, just don't get along with their parents or their siblings? And this is extremely tough on them. How do they cope, and what can you do for them?
It's a great point, because while we try to stay positive and be happy, we're also very real, and we see on a daily basis that there are some struggles that are happening. So if you are finding that, even the children in your house or maybe extended family, you're noticing that they're not doing so well, there's help out there. We're here to help. There's so many other agencies in this community that are willing and ready to help, whether it be with, food or, things for your house, clothing, coats. We've always done that kind of stuff at this time, and they're still out there. And I think at even bigger capacity, people are helping out more than I think we've ever seen. But us here, at Child and Adolescent, if we have resources here, if you just want to ask a question, we don't necessarily have to give you treatment or anything like that. If that's not warranted, then just call and ask us for some help. Like, I'm kind of seeing this happen with my kiddo. Should I be worried? We have consultants that are willing and ready to talk to you and just kind of work that out and see kind of, where is this kiddo? Mary and I were talking last week, and I said, oftentimes, everyone has anxiety right now. Everybody. Yeah. There's so much uncertainty. The reality is, though, anxiety, while yes, that is a diagnosable disorder, that doesn't mean that just because you're feeling anxious, you have an anxiety disorder. When we need treatment and help, it's when our anxiety or our thoughts and feelings and behaviors have become so much and so strong that we can't live the life we want to live, that we inside know that we used to live. We aren't feeling happy. We're not able to cope any longer. We're constantly feeling down and not okay with what's going on, that you're not yourself anymore. When it gets to that point that you aren't functioning, that's when it's time to reach out and ask for some serious help and say, I'm not doing okay with this. I need somebody to talk to? And we're here.
You guys have a great Facebook page and website. Maybe give us the website location and the phone number in case anybody wants to contact you.
The phone number is 330-433-6075. And I believe our website is childandadolescent.org.
Okay, very good. Well, I appreciate you guys. Mary and Larissa, thank you for coming on today, and a lot of really good information. Hopefully everybody will take heart and have a wonderful holiday season. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.